Education, Laurie Kilmartin.
Yeah. Hey, what did I put the camera down? We're a motley crew.
Mm-hmm.
That's a band. How's everybody doing?
Oy.
Oy.
Well, I just got back from Utah.
You're back home?
I am back home.
So what was your tech rehearsal for?
No, my tech rehearsal is going to be at 8. I'm doing a live. It'll be tonight, Monday. I'm doing a live Codenames game on Twitch.
Oh.
With some people. And it's a game, as Andy said, because you're so good at Codenames. That was sarcasm. I'm actually not good at Codenames at all. Codenames is sort of a password-like board game.
Okay.
And you have to play it with a teammate. And I am not good at it. But maybe that makes for entertainment. We don't know. I mean, it's not having diarrhea with the ultimate slip and slide. But did you hear about that?
That was Ron Funches?
Yeah, it's a new game show with an ultimate slip and slide that Ron Funches was one of the hosts of, that they had to shut down production because there was massive diarrhea.
Yeah. I say turn on production when there's massive diarrhea. That's when you bring in more camera persons. Okay.
Kyle, didn't you say something like air the footage, cowards?
Yes, I did. I sure did.
That's funny. I had a lovely weekend. I was subbing.
For him, what happened?
Somebody broke their ankle, and so you remember how my Portland weekend got moved because of George Lopez being more famous than me?
Right.
He continues to be. But it turns out Wise Guys in downtown Salt Lake City, their headliner broke her ankle. And so Keith called me like with a week's notice and was like, would you come and headline? And I was like, yes, please. I need all the sets.
Yeah.
Before this thing in July. So
who was it?
Everybody kept telling me, and I felt like it was Miss Pat, but they kept saying Miss P. So I couldn't tell if it was just another way of. So I don't know. I don't know who it was. And so I have 3/4 of a story. The good part of it is that I got to do 4 long sets and sell a bunch of merch. But nobody wanted my free masks. There were a lot of people who were like, no.
We're done. We're
done with masks. I was like, that's because there's 3 million people in Utah, and that's one pod. They thought that was funny. And because I also have a nice joke about Mormons. So,
sure. Yeah, that's a great joke.
Yep. So, but the sets were good, and yeah, the openers were funny, and it was all well and good. So I was psyched, but I did leave. My flight this morning was at 7:20 because I also had another thing I had to do at 2. So
oh my God,
I only had like 4 or 5 hours of sleep last night, and but I was like, okay, because I forgot. Here's what I forgot. Is that thing where you don't want to sleep because you think you're going to miss your flight.
Right. Always.
So you wake up every hour.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to the Salt Lake airport, and then I got to the Los Angeles International Airport, and it turns out they're both crawling with humanity. Both of my flights were sold out.
Delta?
Southwest, actually.
Okay, because Delta keeps getting hijacked. There have been 2 attempted hijackings on Delta flights.
What?
Are you not paying attention?
I guess
Delta's
I'm
been
not.
trending all week.
Is it? Wow. I'm going to Austin on Thursday, and who's put in the thread, don't get shot? I was like, yeah, every day don't get shot. I don't have to go to Austin to get shot.
Yeah, somebody put that in our little chat. I forget who it was, but it is good advice. I mean, there's no need to castigate this person because truly don't get shot.
No, I have no interest in getting shot. It's I was thinking about doing a new bit about guns, and then I thought, no new bits. 1 more month.
Yeah.
And I've abandoned the old man story and the Sky Club story. Not gonna make it on the album.
tighten it up. That's okay. There'll be more albums. What's the week of your Acme? What's your Acme week?
It's I think the week of it's 15, 16, 17.
Oh, that's the week I'm at Alameda. You wanted my week. Well, it would have fucked your shit up. So there you go. That's our birthday week.
That's our birthday week. And we're going to Portland first weekend of July.
Yeah, please come out for that. You know,
that'll be great. I got Jess got me a couple.
So much money to do that.
I know. Yeah, we're both spending a great deal of money to do that. Yeah. And
that's the way professional comedy works, right? Comedians spend the money to do the gig, right?
Right. And then you also pay a PR person to get you some PR so that you could try to break even.
Oh, you did?
So, yeah.
Okay.
So and so far she's gotten me a listing in the paper. And I mean, there's no notice. She's had no notice to do this. And,
I see.
And she's gotten me, I think, some live radio. So,
all right.
It can't hurt, but.
Yeah. Oh, God. What a wretched time. I had, Friday I had a gig they canceled, and then Saturday canceled. That was your thing. And then all of a sudden I had no spots on the weekend. And I felt like, I'm not a comic anymore. And there's no comedy anymore. There's none for
comedy
me.
is dead. Yeah.
So very depressed. And then this is the week that the year anniversary of my mother getting COVID, and it was this week. It started on the 11th, they called me and said she tested positive. And then 7 days later, after much drama and trying to visit her and stuff, she died on the 18th.
Wow.
That's this week. And then my show that I work on, that I've been working on for 11 years, is ending next week. So it's all like, I don't know. There's a lot. I feel like I don't feel good.
A lot of emotional nonsense all in a row. And it's not nonsense, but it's a lot of things to think about and feel. And it's one of your favorite things, to feel things. And so
I look at it as an opportunity to eat more. And I've been really taking myself up on my offer.
Well, as long as you're getting offers. I was a fan sent me 2 books that I think your son would enjoy after I read them, and they are graphic novels of classics. The Great Gatsby and To Kill a Mockingbird.
Interesting. We'll see. He hasn't really strayed too far from manga.
Right.
At all, to be honest.
No, not too far, like a heartbeat. But but I do think that he might be interested in the art. And I thought you read him Mockingbird. Didn't you read Mockingbird and we saw the play. Him?
No, we saw the play. I think I read it to him as well, but we saw the play in Manhattan with Ed Harris.
Wow.
As Finch. So
God.
Great.
Ed Harris. He's like 100 years old. He's still on my short list.
He's always looked 100 years old, right?
But super. I've always found him very handsome.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah, definitely. I would have liked to have seen. I think I said this before, Jeff Daniels, because he was the original one, and he seems more Southern. Ed Harris always seems like he's from the Bronx to me. So
right.
I am going to go to New York for a week.
Oh, good. When is that?
July 20th through the 25th.
Well, on my birthday.
Birthday
to you.
Yeah,
that'll be. Sure. I think what I'm doing is, I think on the 20th we fly. Andy's coming with me for the album taping.
Yeah.
And Carmen Morales is going to house sit and Gordy sit for us.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and use my car. And try to find an apartment that isn't $2,000 a month for a studio, I think. Yeah.
The housing prices are worse here than they are in New York City.
Oh yeah. I can't be surprised, I guess. Just because I think there was a lot more apartment flight from New York than there was in LA.
Yeah. But here, you want to be here. There's fires, there's earthquakes, there's a drought. I mean, I understand why people are flocking to California.
Sure. It's Fire and flood. Those are our two seasons. You gotta come for them. But if you don't have any money, you're fine. Because I live in Van Nuys, never even ever been threatened by either a fire or a flood, because you have to have a giant bag of money to live anywhere near a tree or a hill.
True. Or
you have to have been born there and live in Kyle's mom's house. Because didn't the fire get close to you guys?
Oh, always.
Always. There you go.
We're made
Well,
of
why-
tinder here.
Why be born and bred in LA if you're not going to live by the thing that it's known for? Okay.
Location.
Yeah, so they're doing a couple of, all I did was sarcastically say that I have an hour if somebody was buying specials. And I got my tweet.
Mhm.
I just tweeted, I said, hey, I don't know who's giving out specials, but it seems to be happening. And turns out I have an hour. And so a couple of people emailed me saying that they'd be willing to film it.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I've hired the people. The people are already hired for the filming. And the recording is 800-pound gorilla. And then a lot of people offered, because I was also talking last week how I didn't have anyone to do hair and makeup.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of people suggest 18 people offered me different people that I could fly in from LA.
What?
People
No
who
one
live
was
in
anyone in Minneapolis? What the hell?
There are plenty of people in Minneapolis. And if I was going to fly somebody in, I would fly in my friend Amy Harmon, who's a makeup artist, who can't because she's working on the TV show A League of Their Own.
Ooh.
She was like, I would fly for that because her brother lives there. She's from Oshkosh, Wisconsin. And but she is working on the new TV. They've turned A League of Their Own into a TV show.
Yeah.
That's neat. I probably would watch that and like baseball for a minute.
Yeah, it's really cool. There's lots of good shows with women lately, Mac's great. I just started watching this show starring Rose Matafeo, or I don't know how to say her last name.
Okay.
Matafeo. She's New Zealand. A New Zealander comic, I think. I thought she was UK. It takes me a while to nail down the accent, but then going by some of the jokes, she's Kiwi. And it's really great. It's on HBO Max,
Is it set in New Zealand?
I think so.
What's it called?
I can't tell exactly. It's called Starstruck.
Okay.
Yeah.
I watch a New Zealand show. We watched it in real time. It was on Acorn or something on Amazon Prime. It was called Brokenwood.
Mm-hmm.
And we watched it every Monday night, the new season. It was kind of like television. And then, of course, we watched Loki, which was on Wednesday. And that was I'm predisposed to enjoy it. So I did enjoy it. But I don't know if I'm going to love it. I'm looking forward to loving it. I don't know.
Give yourself the opportunity to love for once in your life.
I'll open my heart, Laurie. Okay.
I had I did a set on Maria Bamford's show at the Dynasty today.
Oh, that's right, because she texted me and said that that I was to save it. And I said, tell her everything I tell you. And,
it was
how
fun.
was it at the Dynasty?
I just feel so wobbly, And it's hard. I'm going to be honest. It's hard to hear how many sets you're getting and how many long sets you're getting. I'm like, great. I'm doing 2 10-minute sets a week. Wow. Great.
I know, but you're going to go to New York and you're going to pick up 100 sets and it's going to be great. And I will say this, there is an annoying, the consistency of being on the road 42 weeks a year. When you miss a week or you don't go up for 4 or 5 days and do the long set, you can just get up and do the long set and you're okay. But this one, it had been like 7 or 8 days since I had done a long set. So the first night, the Friday first show, I was like, why am I what is happening? I was like, is there do you guys have altitude? I'm looking for things to blame it on. And they're like, yeah,
They kind of do.
that's what they said. And I said, that's what we're calling it. We're calling this uneven set an altitude issue. Because, but I'll tell you, by second show last night, what I did yesterday was something I've been meaning to do for some time, which is to trim out the things that I'm not going to put on the album and make a real set list. Though I've also kind of cut the married stuff out because it's not strong enough. And it will be a year from now, 18 months from now when I do, hopefully I'll do another album right away. But I don't know. Who cares? Please don't think about that, Jackie. Stop thinking about it. Okay, moving on. And but one joke works so well, I want to put it on the album. But I know that if I save it to go with the rest of the married stuff, it'll be, the whole chunk will be better. It'll be a great 3-minute bit. So.
Oh, that hurts. Well, you don't want to be in a position where a year from now it's all perfect and you have that you put the joke on the album.
Right, and it's already on the album. But I was talking to Keith about maybe doing greatest hits dry bar of all my clean stuff, because they don't play any of my albums on Sirius on that clean station.
Oh.
And he's like, yeah, they're just 25-minute sets.
Really?
Yeah. And
do that. I have 25 minutes clean.
He would love that. He would love both of us to do that. And to some extent, 800-pound gorilla would probably want that too, or somebody would, right?
Yeah, right.
I haven't asked. I don't want to put words into the mouths of the label who's nice enough to do my next album, but if I did a sort of a greatest hits of all the, the spooky reading girl bit, the LA pet joke, without the F-bomb that's in the cartoon, that was on the Bread album, and they could all play on the clean station on Sirius, and I could be rich.
Wait.
Let's look forward to that.
This guy was telling me he lived off of his Sirius money during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, why wouldn't he? Yeah, that
got a lot of albums.
Yeah, these people are doing everything. They're doing all the specials. Yep. I think I texted you about it, right?
Yes.
And I don't know, I genuinely want to know what all the new specials, I want to know what the contracts look like. And you very cruelly texted me, when did you get shy?
No, here's why you're not accurately reflecting the conversation. You're like, I want to know what so-and-so's contract is. And I'm, by the way, driving to a water polo game at 8 a.m. and I'm getting these texts from you about another comic special, right?
Right.
I'm already on edge about other people's specials, right?
Right. I might as well just punch you right in the face.
Yeah. And then you're like, hey, why don't you ask? And I'm like, ask who? What? What the fuck are you talking about? Ask her what she's making. And then I replied, when did you get shy?
Because I think that it would come better from you. I think that I'm too nosy, and I think I told you that story of Sue Costello one time said to me, "You're more obnoxious than I am." And I said, "There's not a person in the world who would believe that, Sue Costello."
I don't want to get in the middle of that one. You know what?
It was a very fun conversation. And it happened oddly, probably 18 years ago.
Sure. When you were peak obnoxious.
Yeah, I was certainly much less zen than I am today. It's so beautiful. I think I tweeted something. Jim Henson. It isn't Jim Henson, is it? He's a comic. He used to have a stripe in his hair.
No, that's the Muppets guy.
That's the Muppets guy. I'll be over here not knowing people's names. And he's great. And he hosts one of those Japanese obstacle course contests.
An American stand-up hosts a show in Japan? Oh, that's cool.
No, the American version of it.
Oh, I see.
It's going to be 108 on Tuesday in the Valley.
Wow.
I'm not looking forward to the fact that I have 2 shows in this garage on Tuesday.
Are you doing Zoom shows on Tuesday?
Yeah, I got something going on Tuesday. I think I have like a private, and then I have something else.
Yeah.
Some podcast. And the
I
AC, it isn't cutting it. It's not doing anything.
oh, I don't know what, I haven't thought of the weather next week. I'm like too sad. And I can't even write. For some reason I can't. I was like on a good little run with my novel, and now I'm like, I can't.
That's because you can swim again.
No,
No?
no, it's not, Jackie.
Don't blame it on.
It's coming out of me.
Right, don't blame it on swimming. Just look how defensive it got. But I don't blame you. How's the swimming?
Taken from you. Let me have swimming, please.
You could totally have swimming.
Yeah. So I don't know. And then I have a live set at Flappers on Wednesday on their grand opening. That'll be.
I thought it was Tuesday.
Whatever the 15th is.
Yeah, I'm doing that too. It's you, me, and Jimmy Pardo.
Oh, cool. Oh,
that'll be fun. We'll both get to hang out with Jimmy Pardo.
Pardo. I wonder if he'll bring his son.
I wonder if he'll bring his wife, Danielle Koenig, also hilarious.
Right.
I wish she still did stand up.
Is she not?
Well, I never see her around. She's probably right now screaming at her iPod.
Yeah,
I'm listening to this on an old timey iPod.
We should never assume a woman stopped doing stand up. We could always assume people stopped, responding to female comics. Like that. Let's do. You know what? Yeah, we need verification from a female comic that she quit.
It's true. Oh, and even all comics, quite honestly, because everybody's.
I know.
Some
People
extent.
just go away.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I'm gonna leave. I'm already plotting my demise in this business.
I was told that I should not work this club because bad people work this club.
I think I know what you're gonna type. Let me see if I guess it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Jackie, never take work. Women, female comics are not the ones to say no to work. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah. You want to start with somebody, start with the straight white guys. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. Tell them not to work the club.
But I mean, yeah, start there. Don't start with female comics. We have enough trouble getting any work whatsoever. Okay.
At all.
Please work it. And you're going to have people coming to that place. And if it's getting a bad crowd, you're going to expose some people to a different style of comedy. Okay. So please.
Right. And I was also thinking, has this person who emailed me specifically, I wanted to say, have you never worked with someone that you didn't like?
Dude, it's
your coworkers. There's going to be someone you don't like.
And there's so many clubs where, like, I don't know, our 30 plus years in the business, like, now we're supposed to not work for, people that are assholes. What?
Right.
That's my business model. What are you talking about? That's how I've come to this level of success.
I was talking to. I forget how nice some club owners are. Right. I forget how nice Keith Stubbs is, who owns Wise Guys.
I don't know Keith. I've never worked there.
Oh, you should totally. We
got. Oh, I know, Jackie. Okay, I'll get right on it. I've been turning it down before.
Wait, did you have to do your hair?
Comedy works too. Oh, that's a great idea.
All right. Well, I was going to offer to be your manager just for a minute. And
this is the kind of conversations I like to have with managers every day in this tone of voice.
It's but what happened is I texted, because he's a big fan of Runtowski's, as well he ought to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just I texted Karen. I needed to ask. I said I am at Salt Lake. I had a question about a joke I was thinking about. Yeah, I was just nervous. I was like, "You got a pep talk in you, Runtowski?" And she texted me a tiny pep talk, and then she was like, "Keith loves you. You're gonna be great. Blah blah blah." And say hi for me. And so I said hi. And then Keith started gushing about Runtowski, and my text lit up with Runtowski gushing about Keith. And I was like, "Why don't you two get a room? Why don't you and your wife and your kids, all of
Karen,
you?"
this is Wise Guys. Gee.
But get this though, the cool thing about this as well is that he's opening a club in Vegas that is not on the strip. It is not in a casino.
Interesting.
And I was like, I would like to vote for myself to work a comedy club in Las Vegas, not in a casino, please.
Oh, to be able to walk to the comedy club without walking through a casino, it is so depressing to walk through a casino to get to the room. Ugh.
It is, and the audiences are twitchy because of it. So for it not to be in a casino would be better crowds, I think.
Sure. Yeah, work every club you can, and you will convert a few people along the way. Isn't that what our mission has been since Christopher Hitchens published that article on Vanity Fair? Every set we convert another person who doesn't think women are funny. Okay, Jackie, you're a missionary. I'm a missionary.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, let me get a white shirt and a tie. I just came from Utah. So here's what's it's interesting you'd say that because it's my favorite, but also my least favorite kind of comment, but it's so many people, because I was replacing somebody else. Yeah. A bunch of people kept their tickets and came to the show anyway.
Oh, cool.
And I got a lot of comments from people going, it's that thing, I've never heard of you, but you were very funny, right?
Oh my God.
Some variation on that. And I was like, yes. What?
Yeah.
I said, my career is built on that.
Right. All of our, right?
Who was that funny opener whose name I forgot?
It's literally the well-kept secrets of stand-up comedy. And, but it was so what I said was what I always say, which is tell the club.
Yeah.
Tell the club you had a good time. Just don't forget to tell the club you had a good time and mention my name, please.
Yeah.
And because that will get me more work. That'll get all of us more work. If you had a good time in whatever comedy club you've gone to and you liked it, by name, email the club.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Say that you will come back.
Speaking of people replacing, somebody else called me Jackie today. And then I was like, do I correct? And then I was like, oh, it's, I don't. And then we did it again. And I was like, now it's too late. Like I should have done it after the first one. But then I was like, I wouldn't mind to be Jackie. I'd have a husband. I'd have a dad that was alive. I'd be working Wise Guys. Sounds like a sweet gig.
It really does.
It's pretty great. I have said to because I get called you on a regular basis, and I'm like, if I were Laurie Kilmartin, I'd have a pension. I'd have a kid. I'd have a nice apartment in New York City.
Sounds good too.
This also sounds. It turns out our lives are pretty sweet.
Jackie, let's merge and become one person that has.
I think that was the sell of the show initially. Is that together we're one whole woman.
Come full circle after 285 episodes.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, that many?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And then this week, we spent all last week carefully not saying Jeff Singer's name, like we're in witness protection or something, and that and then that was a wild 48 hours, wasn't it? I could not get off Twitter. It was crazy.
Yeah, there was a lot of busy talk about, because the thing is he's always been a bit of an elbow squeezer, but the weird thing is it was him just screwing around with the N-word.
Well,
and when I say screwing around,
mentioned. I mean, I'm sorry about that one thing I did that one time only ever in my entire life. I will resign from my career of 30 years. That's not exactly, there might have been a few other things, I mean, I know Jeff, and I worked with him at Tough Crowd. He was the booker of Tough Crowd. So I met him that way. I didn't meet him as trying to get on New Faces. I already done New Faces by the time I met him. So I wasn't in that position of wanting something from him, besides getting booked on Tough Crowd. But
right.
I don't know. I just saw him a little differently. It's just like, as you once described my mother as a pill, just one of those like, oh, do you have to say everything that comes out of your head? You know what I mean? One of those people.
Yeah.
But it's like every account that I read of him, I was like, I could see it. There's nothing where I was like, that's insane. And it was so funny that he, I've heard the boots and high heel, don't wear boots with a skirt. If you're a woman, don't wear a skirt with boots. He doesn't like that, and you will not get into Montreal. That was put out there.
What?
And then I remembered he was the producer on a show for female comics called
Stand Up in Stilettos.
Stilettos. That's right, ladies. It's not stand up in boots. It's stand up in stilettos.
And I believe Bamford did the first season, and she said they had to do a weird sequence with her feet.
What?
Yeah, they didn't do it like I did stand up in stilettos. I think you did it as well, right?
Yeah, I did it with Heather Snow. May she rest in peace. Yeah.
Rest in peace. And but the crazy thing about Stand Up in Stilettos second season, they stopped doing the weird because he was literally you had to walk across the if you see the first season, like Maria was like, they wanted pictures of my shoes and me walking.
What? Oh my God. That's so
I don't know what it like,
and that was so
I had not heard that thing about
like 9 years ago. It was so recent. Oh my God.
But here's the thing about Jeff Singer is he's going to be fine. I don't know if you know this, but Swami predicts that he will work for this guy.
Oh shit.
Oh.
without a question.
God damn.
That is a match made in heaven.
It's,
they're gonna.
Well, listen. Here's the thing. I know we're supposed to do an ad break. Well, do you want to do a break?
Yeah.
Right.
Ooh, Laurie, where are we?
All right, so we are at 31 right now.
Perfect
so
timing.
Okay, I'll tell you.
Max Fun.
You guys will be on.
So here's first ad. By the way, they say because of some FCC thing, that first line or the line "We're excited to be sponsored by BetterHelp" has to get read. They just really pressed it in the thing they sent me, so I think it's some Max Fun legal stuff. And then I'll post the other one. Well, let's get through this one, then I'll post the other one.
I'll do this.
So in that 2021 thing.
Yeah.
Is start there and just read that?
So just read that, and then it gives you the copy of those 2 paragraphs, and then if you want to share that one, just says insert personal, so you don't have to read there, and then just get that. And then the last 2 paragraphs
has to be read as well.
Yes, because those are the call to action stuff. So first line and last line.
You want this one, Laurie, or shall I?
Okay, yeah, I'll take it.
Okay.
All right. In 2021, it's finally okay to talk about our mental health, and that's why we're excited to be sponsored by BetterHelp. We really are. BetterHelp is a customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions. They'll match you with a therapist in under 48 hours, and it's easy to change therapists if needed. You don't need to have a traumatic event to benefit from therapy. Maybe you're feeling anxious or depressed. Maybe. Come on. Geez. Or your stress feels like it's too much to manage. Get some tools to cope and make life just a little bit easier.
And I'll say this is the great thing about the ease of them switching where it's easy to switch therapists and don't be ashamed to switch therapists, because the thing is you have to connect, because you have to be honest with the person who is listening to you, right? Because you want to work through this stuff, you got to do the work, you have to be able to be honest. So don't be afraid to switch therapists is what I'd say. So
plus BetterHelp is way more affordable than in-person therapy, but just as effective. See if it's for you. Oh my God, in-person can be like $275, $300 a session. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and the Jackie and Laurie Show listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/Jackie Laurie. That's BetterHelp.com/Jackie Laurie. Get 10% off your first month.
And BetterHelp is spelled BETTER, and help HELP obviously .com/Jackie Laurie.
Did you think they would think it was ButterHelp and be like,
no, I didn't know if they were getting the help. Do you want to do?
And then here's ad number 2. Whoa, what's up, Laurie?
Comic of the week. You want to put comic of the week in between?
It's usually easier to put the ads because then it can then you go from comic of the week back into show.
Oh, okay.
So all right, and this one again.
Okay.
And then just from call to action down, it's got to be verbatim. The rest just to have
I don't have much on them because I sent my stuff back and I never got anything else.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Hi, it's Jackie here. I have to tell you that shopping for new clothes is time-consuming, tedious, expensive. Fortunately, Stitch Fix is supporting the Jackie and Laurie Show, and it makes it easy to find clothes that you love. They pick stuff for you, by the way. Stitch Fix offers clothing hand-selected by expert stylists for your unique size, style, and budget. Try on pieces at home before you buy, keep your favorites, and send back the rest. So what they do is you pick stuff online, and then they mail you all this stuff with a bag that you just mail it back to them if you don't like it, if it doesn't fit right, if it doesn't feel right, this type of thing. Anyway, Stitch Fix has free shipping, easy returns and exchanges, and a prepaid return envelope is included. So there's no subscription required. The Stitch Fix try Stitch Fix once and set up automatic deliveries. You'll pay the $20 styling fee for each box, but then that gets credited towards any pieces that you keep. So I am currently wearing a pair of pants, and I wore the blouse that they sent me on Friday night at Wise Guys. So I like a couple. Yeah, I kept 3 different pieces. It was kind of great. Get started today at stitchfix.com/Jackie Laurie, and you'll get 25% off when you keep everything in your fix. That's stitchfix.com/Jackie Laurie for 25% off when you keep everything in your fix. stitchfix.com/Jackie Laurie. Now, let us talk about the comic of the week, who I watched some of her dry bar. You know how hard it is for me to watch non-live comedy. But a bunch of people recommended her, and she's sort of our age. She's been doing it a long time.
I know her name, yes.
Yeah.
I've never worked with her. Where's she based out of?
I thought she was out of, I think she's in the, I wish I knew. God dang it. I'm so sorry.
Hold on. You type her up, I'm going to look.
Yeah, it's Leanne Morgan.
Woo.
Leanne Morgan. She has an amazing dry bar. She's it's just, I think it's Leanne Comedy on Twitter. It's Leanne Comedy, I believe.
Yes.
But whatever it is,
Yes,
it's,
Leanne Comedy.
It's super relatable, and it's just really funny and sweet. I mean, it's smart comedy, but it's not, it's just nice. It's good to watch. It's just good stand-up where you're like, oh, look at her. Yeah. And her dry bar is rock star. She's doing theaters now. She may not need the Jackie and Laurie bump.
No, she certainly doesn't. And she doesn't need to be categorized as our age because she's 5 years younger than us.
Oh, is she? Oh, good Lord. All right.
Well, that's amazing. She must, I don't know. Is she out of the South maybe?
I think she might be. And, but it's so interesting because I had never even heard of her. But she's been doing it for some time.
Yeah, I've heard of her. I thought she was Christian or something. Maybe she is. I don't know. Does she do like Bob and Tom? Is she like a Bob and Tom comic, do you think? I don't know if that's a thing anymore. Because
I don't think that is a thing anymore.
Right.
But because I think Tom retired, but they still call it the Bob and Tom Show.
Right.
And Bob's still working. Wait, is it Bob who retired? It's a great story. Anyway,
you know what?
let's wrap it up.
I like how we're not like lawyers. Lawyers ask a question when they know the answer. But you and I ask each other questions and we have no idea what the answer is.
Elliot Cation, never ask a question you don't already know the answer to. So sad, too bad, Dad. Oh, well.
I think that might have been Alexander Hamilton, but yeah.
My dad's been lifting lines for easily the last 70 years. So
a tough crowd. Jeff booked the stand-ups, and the show was mostly the regulars, right?
Yep.
Who were the guys from this. It was a show about the table at the cellar, which was mostly male. That's just what it was. Okay. But it was really hard to get women. Didn't you do it once?
I did do it once. It was the first
hard
time
to
we
get LAX on, and LAX didn't do as well because the table comics were like, oh, these fucking pieces of shit from LA. Like they did not give you guys any respect. It was like a battle of the coast back then.
And the week that I did it was the week that what the hell is his name? Famous actor, Three's Company, John Ritter. John Ritter died on the Friday. I taped it on the Monday, and I had a joke about John Ritter because he was doing that new sitcom, 10 Rules.
About dating my daughter or something like that.
And I said, I think I changed. It was just a dumb sort of one-liner joke about how they're changing the name of the show to 10 Rules You Don't Have to Follow because my dad just died. And they cut it.
Oh,
it was the
man.
best laugh I got.
I
and they
bet.
cut it in the
Well, anyway, so it was very hard to get women on, but I any woman who takes any opportunity, I totally get it, right? So if your boyfriend is booking a TV show and says, "Hey, you want to keep doing it?"
Oh yeah.
You go, yeah, even though
Yeah.
you're not a stand-up, you're a storyteller. And
Right.
he did that. He kept booking his girlfriend. And I'm like,
Yeah.
fucking Bernie Polly's over here doing spots every night. Marina Franklin. These are on the way up at that time. Jessica Kirsten. There's like Marion Groden. There's Rachel Feinstein. I don't know if humor was there at that point, but it was like there were so many young comics that were like out every night just fucking clawing and doing what you do in New York. And it was so hard to get them on, and he would book his girlfriend and it drove me nuts, even though she was very nice.
Super nice, and actually a really good storyteller. I did her storytelling show, and it was with her, Norton, and Colin Quinn. And I think it was that's what got me. I think it was the second round of Comedy Central people who saw me at that time, which is why I think I got the tough crowd.
Okay.
Because
cool.
I did it at Montreal when I went to the first time I went to Montreal.
Okay.
And I remember knowing that I had to hang out with Colin if I wanted to do tough crowd.
Yeah.
So I'm hanging out playing poker with them at 4 a.m, and I don't drink, and they're getting drunker and drunker and more stoned and more gross, and it just keeps going.
He was sober too, right?
But awake, and for some reason.
Oh yeah, he's always.
Yeah, but and it might have been. Yeah, I don't remember him being drunk. I just remember it going on forever and me being way too sober.
Right.
So I was mostly concerned with my own lack of drunkenness, and the fact that I don't care about poker. So, but I lasted probably 3.5 hours, and at like 3:30 in the morning, and I had to do radio at 8:30.
Oh.
So at 3:30, I was like, yeah, I got to do radio at 8:30. And it was a live panel radio. So it was in front of an audience. What?
In New York City?
No, in Montreal.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Gotcha.
And so I, so at 3:30, I told them that I was going to bed, and they were like, "You're such a pussy." and I was like, "You guys, I have to get up in 3 hours. I call times at like 7.
Stay up all night, Jackie.
Exactly. And I couldn't do it. And so, but I did the storytelling, Colette's storytelling show, and him and Norton were like, "You fucked that old man. We don't like how that story ended. You fucked him, right?" And I was like, if I had fucked him, I would have told you. There would have been absolutely no reason for me not to tell you. Because the story was about me not fucking an old man. And instead,
I remember I've heard this.
Yeah, and then I walked home and I ended up, I think I had sex with a Somali grad student on my way home. So.
It had a happy ending, Jackie.
Well, as long as it had a happy ending, and it did.
Yeah.
Condom. That's all I remember. Guy had a condom and a long, well-shaped penis. That's all I remember. Boy, was I drunk. Anyway.
That's all I remember about many boyfriends, and I'm not really an alcoholic, so don't worry. Don't be too hard on yourself. But you know what? I'm just saying that was a really frustrating thing, and it felt like, hey, we're supposed to be, we're supposed to be mixing these female comics in, so you don't have 4 guys talking about birth control, you know? And it took forever. It was so frustrating. But that was my key point of contention with Jeff was that. And then I didn't really, then I talked to him again, at Stilettos, and he led me to think that I was doing him a favor for doing it because I already done Last Comic Standing and stuff, and maybe the favor would be repaid. And I never heard anything, but then I heard during this thing he was booking Fallon. It's like, hey, you never called me to say, hey, I'd love to repay the favor and see if we can get you on the show. I mean, I probably wouldn't have done it, but still, to be asked. Anyway,
girl likes to be asked. I will say that when every time I've talked to him, he's always been like distantly polite to me, and that is always what I've looked for in strangers.
Right.
but and he significant, like his signature thing was he would wear that hat.
Right.
And I never recognized him anyway. And so he would always be like, Jackie, it's me, Jeff Singer. And I was like, Jesus, I'm so sorry. And so the last time I saw him, he was like, hey, Jackie. And he was getting into an elevator in Montreal. This was probably 4 years ago. And I was like, hey. And he goes, it's Jeff Singer, Jackie. And I was like, God dang it. I am so sorry. Hey, do you want to take another break? Is it too soon?
No, it's perfect timing.
So we're both doing Tuesday, right? We're doing Tuesday at Flappers.
Right.
And then Thursday, I go to the Austin to do Creek in the Cave and do and try to tighten this damn thing up. And
How many shows are you doing in Austin?
5.
So is it Thursday through
Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. And you just
You know what I do like
right?
is what?
You just picked that week up like a month ago, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's I don't know if people are canceling or if they're just trying to fill stuff super fast. All I know is Keith was telling me that he's gotta get all the paperwork done in Vegas, but he's hoping to open the first week of August. Because that's when you want to go to Las Vegas, the first week of when it's closest to the sun.
Oh, sweet.
He said that the air conditioning wasn't working. He was going this weekend to go look at it.
Is he buying the building or is he renting it?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, I mean,
He
wouldn't
is-
the landlord take care of the AC if he's renting it?
Right. You would think so. Maybe he is buying it.
He's got that wise guy's money.
He's got 2 clubs.
Hmm?
He's got Ogden and he's got downtown. So
I mean, you can make money owning comedy clubs. It's, some
Yeah.
people don't, but some people do really well, you know?
yeah. And the one in Vegas he said it seats 140, which is kind of perfect.
Yeah, that's great.
And if it's a full week, I mean,
That means you won't get bumped by George Lopez. Right?
right. Though I think he's hoping that Brian Regan, because Regan lives in Vegas.
But he doesn't
might do-
perform in Vegas, right?
He doesn't. He doesn't want to perform where he eats.
Yeah, he doesn't want to soil his hometown.
Yes, that's the analogy. And but he does. I think he does go and hang out at the clubs sometimes, just to hang out with comics,
Oh, okay, yeah.
because he does like to hang. And he offered me another weekend in Appleton, Wisconsin, but it's the
Oh.
weekend we're doing Portland.
Oh, okay.
And so I can't wait to go to Portland. I want to go to Powell's. I want I'm looking for the woman who owns the theater or runs the theater, the Siren.
Yeah.
We're in Portland, 2nd and 3rd, Lori and I. And
Are we doing 1 show or 2 shows each night?
1 show a night so far, unless everybody buys tickets in all of Oregon and Washington and then drives there in Utah.
No,
And
it'll be fun. Jackie's gonna be. I have the sweet spot. I get just to do a little bit up front, and then
Yeah,
Jackie's gonna be sweating, pouring over tweaks,
follow
recording.
that.
Oh my
Gil
God,
Martin's
damn
gonna
it, I
say.
said it wrong. Oh, it'll be great. So you can watch.
I want you to try to blow me out of the water and just go, "Gah, boom, follow that." And but she offered to find an MC, and so she found a woman that I've never heard of, but I'm looking forward to.
Cool. That's great.
Yeah.
This morning, or just like in the last couple of days, California's reopening and stuff like that, and so all of a sudden the Water Polo Association got the okay to have games. So then the coaches are emailing, we've got games, but they're put together very hastily. Like on Friday, I found out that my son was going to have a game in an hour and a half away in Goleta, which is almost in Santa Barbara.
Dang.
This morning.
Wow.
And so I had my one set, I had my Maria set at 11:30, and I'm like, if I lose this set, I'm going to blow my brains out. I am not, I'm hanging on by a very, very,
Yeah, you need sets. If
Robot
anybody's got a
thread.
set for Monday night, do it tonight.
So I drove him out there, and I brought I know how to do swim meets. I got the cooler, I got a chair, I got an umbrella, I got a sleeping bag. I got, because you could be there for a long time. And then, and then I left and drove an hour and a half back and did Maria's show. And then my son's father went out to pick him up and
thank
watch the last half of the second game, I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'm like fucking tired. I guess that's the point. I woke up at like 5:45 to make
do
sure
all of
I got
this.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I sent you that list of the new real shows in LA.
Yes.
And it's and it's the same hat
Yeah.
stores and coffee shops and bars and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's fine. That's just fine.
Mhm.
I'll the same people who wouldn't do Zoom shows, but they're willing to go to a hat store. I'm like, yeah, nice high horse. Why'd you fall off it? Anyway, so, because I'm looking forward.
That just reminded me. I gotta call the guy. You said hat store. I'm like comedy chapeau. Yeah, I gotta call the guy at the comedy chapeau.
I wish it was called the Comedy Chapeau.
I hope that's what Keith Stubbs names his Vegas club.
I did ping the Laugh Factory guy in Long Beach, and he said I could get sets there if I'm in town.
Cool. I will.
And
I sent an email to the regular Laugh Factory, address. I'm like, hey, can I start sending in the bales? Like, how you guys doing it? They had like a calendar that you you kind of plug and play for a long time, and they did it with Long Beach too. Now, if you're just sending avails to the Long Beach guy, that means they changed how they do it. They're not doing the calendar anymore.
I don't know. All I know is I sent the email that was on the thread that was given to me, and then I got a text message from the guy who I clearly know.
Okay.
And then and he was like, Jackie, yeah, you can have sets. Just tell me when. And I'm like, I feel vindicated. I feel beloved, and I also and quite honestly, I need it for some reason because of 15 months. That's why I just need it. So
yeah, for sure.
And I wish to share the wealth, and I will try to be. I'm going to stop talking. Tell us a story.
I don't have anything. Are you kidding?
We got 9 minutes left.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
While I was preparing for Maria's show, I was trying to figure out which, jokes to do first, etc. I came up with an idea for a new joke, and then it worked. And then
okay, because I'm psyched about the new bit.
You'll see it.
I have a new bit that has got so much potential that I tried it. I was talking about it almost an hour ago. Oh, maybe 9 minutes to go. Anyway, so it would have been 51 minutes ago. I was talking about this thing, and but I don't want to put it on the album, so I don't want to work on it until July 20th. But you know how exciting it is to do a new bit, that all I can do is think about it, because it's a one-liner bit that has a punchline, which a lot of my jokes don't start with a setup and a punchline. So I was like, yes.
How you normally work.
And then get this, though, it's got a nice little story that I can pepper punchlines into, like I do like to work.
Yes.
Right after it.
That's right.
And we will find this out at the end of July, whether it should go the other way, where I tell the story and then I tell the joke with the punchline. So we can't know. We can't know until I try it like a million times.
You could you probably get your best set by Friday, right? And then you can have your Saturday shows where you're like, fuck it, let me throw this new thing in and see what happens. Maybe the newness of it. I was thinking, like, I still have to listen to another round of my album, and I'm like, I can't handle this anymore. And it's just there's a time when it's a perfect time to tell a bit after you've perfected it, but you're not sick of it. Right. And that's the time it should be recorded. Now, that's not how you record an album. Nope. I have plus with me, I track along, my material follows my son's age. So, like when he was 8 and whatever I wrote about him being 8, that was the time I should have recorded that track and released it as a single. I'm telling you, I'm not an album person because I take too long to write stuff. I should be just releasing singles so that I'm telling the joke at the time when it's the funniest to me and I'm enjoying it the most, and not feeling like, oh, I got to get this one on tape so it's there for posterity, like posterity wants to hear me tell a joke I'm sick of.
Posterity does not want to hear that joke. You are correct, except for that posterity won't know any better. But I definitely think that you should do that. You should totally do tracks.
I don't know how to do that.
It turns out Kyle Clark has a.
Hey, what's up?
That's
what's
true.
up?
We could do a Kill Martin Singles of the Month Club or something. That might be a project to talk
Oh
about.
my God. That's great, because that's a great idea, because I decided to act as if I'm going to die instead of as if I have the future in comedy, right? Like I'm like, oh, I'm saving this bit for something. For what? For nothing, clearly. For nothing. Okay. Unless it's some self-produced thing. Okay. Why save anything? If I love it and it's done, boom, let's get it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking that if I died before I did the album, that maybe they could make the album out of the
Phone
the
recordings?
set. Well, either my phone recordings or the Comedy Works just sent me the Zoom feed, the
For the
streaming.
black box.
Pardon?
Sorry, there was a.
It took a minute, but I got it. It was a solid joke. We passed it in weird timing, but that was excellent.
What I've been thinking about, speaking of self-producing, is how I can pay all these people for filming this thing with my credit card so I can get the points.
Yeah, that's very important.
I'll take a bunch of emails about that. Anybody's got that going.
Who's the points? Nina Manny.
Oh.
Is she the points lady?
Yeah, she might be able to know how to do it.
She has a fucking podcast about points.
And
I don't know if she still does.
No, I'm sure she does, because she was the one who talked me into getting those 2 cards.
Yeah.
And that Sapphire card, that Chase Sapphire card, I got to work 3 weekends and rent. The first 3 weekends I was out, I had free rental cars.
Whoa.
And now the next rental car is going to cost money, and I'm sad about it because it turns out it's not cheap. But it was really great using points for it. Yeah.
I used I have a shitload of JetBlue points from I haven't been on a plane in the pandemic, but I've been using my JetBlue card, and so my New York flight, of course, is free, covered. But they're really starting to skimp. Seat selection is extra money. Now you can have a purse, but you can't have an overhead unless you pay extra money on JetBlue. Like they're taking every possible perk and figuring out a way to monetize it,
Damn.
Wow, that's very Spirit frontier of that.
Yes.
That's too bad, because JetBlue has that cool lighting. Anyway, or is that Virgin?
That's Virgin, and they went out of business.
Because of all those LEDs.
I think they were bought by Alaska. But JetBlue also, like, they donated to some MAGA candidate. I'm like, did some asshole take over a JetBlue? I would have, because it used to be kind of like cute and the friendly. They never stay cute. Any airline that starts with cute and we're your friend, they always turn to shit. They're always bought by somebody, right?
Well, and Southwest, the good news about Southwest Airlines is that it's worker owned.
Is it?
Yeah. The Southwest is owned by the employees, and it's still 2 free bags, which is great for merch. Mm-hmm. And then you could bring a carry-on and a purse or something.
Yes,
so,
and the flight is, if you want to cancel, it's totally refundable.
Yeah. It's just credit that you. It's actually, I think it's just credits.
But they don't ding you. Like they'll charge you $100 on some of these airlines if you have to cancel a flight.
Anyway,
I think
these
airlines. What are we gonna do? They suck.
Come to Flappers on Tuesday, and then come to Creek in the Cave, Austin, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. And if you have stand-up sets in Los Angeles, give them to Lori and Kyle. Kyle could probably use this.
Yeah, I could use
sure. And guys, watch the last 8 episodes of Conan. They start tonight. There's 4 this week, 4 next week. They're in front of a live studio audience for the first time.
Cool.
And he's
that's
so
awesome.
excited.
That rules.
They've got there's some montages, there's a lot of comedy that you guys probably have forgotten that he did that we're showing again that are fucking hilarious.
Cool.
So many, like the writers, we all made playlists of our favorite. Like I'm just like click whatever one, because every one I would watch, it would turn into a rabbit hole of this is brilliant, this is great, and it was really tough to fix stuff.
That's awesome. So how much time do you have off between?
Forever.
Oh, really?
I don't know. What do you
Okay.
mean?
Oh, like
Like-
when's the HBO thing starting?
I don't know. No one knows.
Who you don't
No
know
one
yet?
knows.
All right.
No.
Stay tuned, you guys. Tune in next week. We may know then, but we don't know now. So don't
Right.
sweat it. Are we done?
Yes.
Yeah.